capable of winning a world championship on any of the 5 tables. That one knocked back into the goal. It's Spredeman who strikes first here.
Yeah, I think for me that Rob Atha could win a world championship on any table. I don't think Tony could, but unfortunately we're not playing on any table. We're playing on Tony's home table, and that's a huge difference.
Yeah, Tony Spredeman's strength is his abilities on his own table. He's good on the other tables, no question about it. But on most, if not all, of the 5 official tables, Robert Atha is great. And has proven it with great finishes on just about every table, including the former official table, the Tornado. Great finishes on Fireball. A world champion on Garlando. On a former table Tech Ball, he was a world champion. Well, second place finisher this previous year on Garlando in the singles event, and had Kevin Hunsdorfer, the eventual champion, down 2-0.
What I want to watch, people to watch for here in this match for me is the intelligence of Rob Atha's defense. Now, I think Rob is possibly one of the best defenders in the world at getting people to shoot the hole he wants them to shoot.
And you know, really the key to defense is to always have in mind where you think your opponent's going to go. And then work around that. Bait accordingly, switch accordingly. Spredeman now with a chance to go up 3-0 here in this first game. Tony sets it up, quick set near side, blocked by Atha, who comes back with a pull kick wide of the goal. Eventually rebounded by Spredeman and taken away by Atha. And Robert quickly converts. He's on the scoreboard. It's 2-1.
Well, I can say this now because we're up here and no one can hear us because it's playing.
Yeah.
I went to the Leonhardt tournament with Rob in Belgium, in Antwerp, beginning of December. Now, one of the things Rob has struggled with, as of late, is his pull. So that's going to be something interesting to see. His pull side snake, it's a confidence issue, Rob will tell you. It's nothing to do with the ability to hit it. It's sometimes he sits in it and he doesn't feel it. So be interesting to see if that's an issue here.
And Atha gets on the scoreboard from goalie this time. It's now 2-2. 2-2 here in the opening game. And what we anticipate should be a very closely contested quarterfinal match.
There you see the impressive side of Tony Spredeman's 5-bar. When he doesn't execute the pass, and sometimes the ball will find its way into the goal.
Atha again from goal. It's 3-2, 3 in a row from Robert Atha. Tony Spredeman now setting it up, looking to even it up. Try to go to that far side, taken away by Robert.
I like how slow Rob's playing here. I really like this. I don't mind him being quick from the 2-bar because that's where Rob is best. But taking his time on the 5 and his time on the 3, being composed, is how you've got to play Tony.
Yeah, you really do. And another shot here. And Atha has scored 2 of his 3 from the goalie position. And that is something that Robert Atha is among the best in the world at. And that is shooting from the 2-rod on any of the tables. And this one taken away by Atha. Looking for 4 in a row. Robert Atha trying to go far side, rimmed that one off the corner. Rebounded by Spredeman, who flips it over down the middle. Generally, Tony's going to attempt to pass 2 to the 5. They'll try to do so here. 2-rod to 5. Now stepping into the forward position, Tony Spredeman. Tony, a former finalist here at the ITSF Table Soccer World Championships in the singles competition, losing to Yannick Correa back in 2009. Robert Atha, a finalist in the doubles competition 2 years ago here with his father.
Yeah, he won it with Joe Hamilton, and the next year,
that's right,
he came second with his father. He's trying to
2 years later.
2 years later. Yeah. He's trying to emulate that feat this year. He's playing with his friend Stephen Edwards, or Eddie Edwards, as he's known to the GB team.
That one down the table and drops into the goal, and a frustrated Robert Atha now finds himself even up with the American. 3-3 here in the first game. Beautiful catch there. Look at that save by Atha. Robert takes his time and calls timeout. So Atha gets a possession here, Ben, that he probably shouldn't have had, but what a brilliant save. And he has an opportunity to take the lead.
You've got to make the most of all of your possessions when you're playing against Tony Spredeman. If you get a lucky ball and you get a lucky piece, you've got to make it count.
Robert Atha putting the ball back into play. Setting it up, looking for the lead, fires that one down the middle. I think Tony thought he was there. That one might have angled just a touch. Did go in cleanly. And Atha back on top 4-3. Spredeman tic-tacking. Bounce pass off the wall. Retrieved by Atha. Winner advances to the semifinals.
Slow and steady again, Jim. I like this.
Robert really playing calm, yet explosive. And he wins game number 1. Great performance in the opening game from Great Britain's Robert Atha. He leads Tony Spredeman 1-0.
Any demons about that pull side are well and truly gone. He's shot that really nicely there. Something Rob's been working on hard, and I think that we're going to see the difference here.
Tony Spredeman, though, one of the best players in the world at making adjustments after losses. So let's see what happens here.
He always comes out 10% stronger, doesn't he?
As we watch him angle that pass inadvertently off the near side towards the goal. But look at Robert Atha. So calm, so collected, yet also so explosive and intense on the table. It's been a great performance by Atha so far. Nice pickup here by Spredeman. Tony will set it up, looking to strike first here in game number 2. From snake shot position, fakes far side, then comes back down the middle. He leads 1-0.
He opened up the first game with that and the second game.
Robert Atha angling it down smoothly. When you see Robert Atha play table soccer like this, you think, oh, why hasn't this guy won even more often than he already has?
Great save. That was a really, really good save. No, you're right, and that's for me. What a calm, sensible Rob on the 5 and the 3 is in the top 2-3 players in the world.
Yet still intense, and as we mentioned earlier, still explosive to the hole. And Spredeman able to pass this one nicely down the middle, gathers it in, sets it up. Tony did go up 2-0 in the first game, only to have Atha come back. Tony takes his time and then works it to that far corner. That is a beautiful shot. Gave a little fake to the far corner and then went back there. It's 2-0. Robert Atha won the opening game. Looks like he'll use a timeout here, and he does.
Of course, he technically didn't need to. There's no referee, but these are two good friends, and they're certainly not going to cheat each other.
Yeah, these are two good friends, and two guys that you kind of would have expected at some point during their career would have played doubles together.
Yeah, it's one of those partnerships you'd like to see in action.
Robert Atha has played the goalie position quite often, although right now Tony Spredeman back in control here in game number 2. Spredeman leading 3-0. Robert Atha, an impressive opening game win, leads 1-0. And Robert again finding that hole down the middle.
What I don't want to see Rob do at any point is switch to his front pin or his pull shot.
Agreed. We have seen him do that in the past, and oftentimes he'll switch, I think, too quickly without really needing to. And right now his snake shot's looking brilliant. As is this man right here, Tony Spredeman, who has, I believe, hit his last 3. Spredeman tried to come near side. That one bounces and then comes back to Tony. Spredeman, quick set near side. Atha with a block. Angled towards the goal and into the goal with a 5 by Tony Spredeman. He now leads 4-1.
A little bit of his own luck there.
Spredeman now just a goal away from evening this matchup and taking it down to one final 2 out of 3. Robert Atha continues to shoot the ball well.
That pull side is absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
It's 4-2.
And there's the mark of a world-class player as opposed to someone who's just good. He knew his pull side wasn't as hot as he wanted it to be. He's obviously gone away and worked at it.
Oh, look at that shot from the 2-rod by Atha, and he pulls within 1 at 4-3. What a beautiful shot that was.
Yeah, we're back at 4-3, and it's anybody's game.
Again, the skill level of the Brit, Atha, is sensational. Tony Spredeman looking to work it up the table, 2-rod to 5. But first, he'll step away and use a timeout. A lot at stake in this match. The winner will advance to the semifinals. The loser would finish in a tie for 5th, which would be a disappointment to either of these players.
Really would.
Tony Spredeman will put the ball back into play in his goal area using the left hand to pass. Trying to angle that one up towards his 5, instead picks it up on his 3-rod with a chance to tie the match up at a game apiece. Tony Spredeman. Tried to come back down the middle, blocked, spins back to Tony. Spredeman again, and it's 1 game apiece. So as expected, Ben Mason, great performance in the opening game from Robert Atha. A great performance from Spredeman in game number 2. We've got ourselves a match, and we're all tied up at a game apiece.
Yeah, we said at the start of that game, Tony always fights and comes back, and you look at that there, and Tony's come out that little 10%, as I said. And it's not like Rob had no answers. It was very, very close, and we'll soon see what happens. There's Norm Cloney there, front of the shot, leaning on his hands. One of Rob's very close friends.
Here we go. Game 3 underway. Atha with the first possession, blocked by Spredeman, who stabs it on goal with a 5-row. Atha slid over there to block it. Robert, who has scored 3 times from his 2-rod. Tried to come short side. Spredeman got the left hand back there, tried to sweep it out of the way. Couldn't do so, so Atha on the scoreboard first. And you saw the rubber come off the wrap on that goalie handle of Tony Spredeman.
I'll tell you something, Jim, that's odd, is it appears Tony's using a wrap on his 3. I've seen him shoot quite a lot of times on the fireball without using a wrap.
1 game apiece, 1-0 lead for Atha. Quick left-handed shot attempt by Spredeman. Tony gets it back, and he will use that left hand to shoot with a 2-row. Usually in the most unexpected of times. Pass here, near side. Stepping into the forward position. Spredeman tried to pass along the outside wall. Tony has shot the ball very well so far, but still doesn't look real comfortable on the 5-row. And that always is Tony Spredeman's strength. And walking it around, then slamming it back down the middle is Spredeman. It's 1-1.
He's executed that now, I think 3 or 4 times. That fake to the far side and back down the middle. It's obviously a favourite of Tony's, and he knows he can exploit people and get them to give him that gap.
Absolutely, and the way that he gets them to give him that gap is by establishing the corners early on, and he has done that. You have to watch out for Tony Spredeman's corners, which opens up the fake, and then the shot down the middle. 1-1 in games, 1-1 in score here in game number 3. Jim Stevens, Ben Mason, and the Kazoom.com team bringing you all the excitement of the 2013 World Cup and World Championships from Nantes, France, the Palais des Sports.
Yeah, Palais des Sports. I think, for me, the way you could look at defending Tony when he is so good at these fakes is to ignore them, to simply concentrate on the positioning of your men.
That's correct.
And where you can get him to go. Try and tell him a story rather than reading the book he's reading to you.
And coming back with that short side push shot again. Atha from goal. That's 4. And he surges ahead once again. And you really make a great point. And that's a strategy that can also be utilized on the 5-row against certain players who do utilize fakes. You can't get faked if you're not seeing the fake. 2-1 lead. Atha has been superb shooting from goal. And that shot attempt blocked up into the air and off the table.
He's looking for the outside bank there. Slow roll back towards him, looking for an outside bank. This thing I know he can shoot very well, and I think he probably might get a couple of this game.
You would think Spredeman would make the adjustments. One of the things these great players do is constantly make adjustments as a match goes on. You see the brilliantly executed bounce pass there and the shot down the middle taken away by Spredeman. I think Atha rushed that shot just a little bit.
The one time he's not really taken it, it was a weaker effort as well.
And he does steal it away here. Chance to go up 3-1 for Great Britain's Robert Atha. Does take his time and find the hole.
Tony's really giving him loads of near side, loads of pull side, and Rob's just hitting it time after time.
Had a conversation with Robert Atha earlier today and also after the Tornado World Championships last year. I told him to watch that video. If he takes 6 to 7 seconds, his shooting percentage was somewhere like 85 to 90%. When he took 3 to 4 seconds, that shooting percentage was 15 to 20%.
We said the same to him after the P4P tournament in Germany.
P4P, correct. Spredeman has pulled back within 1. Now trailing 3-2. And what has been a very intriguing men's singles match in the quarterfinals so far. Atha looking to regain that 2-goal lead. Walks it around and hammers the far corner.
My impartiality wavered then. That was such a good shot.
And that one, and a jar called there on Atha on himself. Tony will put it back into play on the 3-rod.
Big shot here for Tony.
Spredeman walks it around and finds that tight hole near side. Even Tony, I think, wasn't sure where exactly he hit that one. Gets a smile out of it.
Do you think he went around the man?
He went inside of it.
Inside of it, yeah.
But Atha with a chance to win game number 3 right here. As he passes it through and sets it up. Will he use a timeout here? Doesn't appear so, and Spredeman able to make the block. Karam's down the table. Atha couldn't get the left hand on that goalie rod to keep it out. It drops in, and it's 4-4. And absolutely, that probably was a situation where Robert Atha should have used a timeout.
Yeah.
And doesn't execute the pass here.
Remember what we said earlier, guys. How many times in table football does a poor decision, or a not poor decision, but not the best decision, get rewarded by having to concede as well?
And you saw Robert Atha realizing that he probably should have made a better decision in that situation. Tony Spredeman does decide to use a timeout, puts it back into play, angles it up the table, then moves into the forward position to grab it on his 5-row. Spredeman looking to advance it. Tony using a more slow style of passing, has it taken away by Atha, who will use a timeout this time. Tied up at 4 in game number 3, even at 1 game apiece in this quarterfinal match in men's singles. Robert Atha and Tony Spredeman, 2 of the greats in the world of table soccer, battling to see who will reach the semifinal. As Atha puts it back into play. Rob with that smoothly executed lane pass. Will set it up looking for a 2-1 lead.
Take his time here.
Robert Atha.
Senior singles semifinals.
Yes,
what a shot.
To that far side, and Atha with the fist pump wins game number 3. He now leads 2-1.
So let's look at Rob here. Let's look at Rob's game. When Rob's taken his time and executed the push and the pull, I would say he's missed 1. Well, not missed 1. Tony saved 1. And when you look at the fact that he hasn't taken his time, he's been saved on each occasion.
He has, and that actually bodes well for perhaps Spredeman's chances as we open up game number 4. Spredeman's pass attempt angles off the wall and into the goal, so he scores first here in the 4th game. He's up 1-0 in a game that he must win to stay alive. And of course, Tony Spredeman, just about every fan in the stands and a couple of announcers would love to see this one go to a 5th game.
Yeah, it's a game where whoever goes out of the tournament's a loss for the event.
And Atha tried to go far side, went a little wide of the goal. It caroms off that back wall, comes back to Rob in the goalie position. Rob sends it up the table, intercepted by Spredeman, who quickly passes it along the outside wall. Tony will set it up looking for a 2-0 lead. From snake shot position, the American Spredeman. Stokes it home near side, so Spredeman coming back here in game 4. Scores the first 2. He's up 2-0. Robert Atha rushing it through the lane. What an amazingly skilled player Robert Atha is. Looking to cut the lead in half right here. Robert angled that one between the men. Went wide of the goal. Completely mis-executed that effort. Spredeman using the left hand will look to advance it. But it's intercepted by Atha, who sets it up quickly to the far side using a pin shot here. Rattled off the corner. Spredeman angling along the outside wall. Tried to bank it off that back wall and grab it. Couldn't do so. Atha does retrieve it on his 5, sends it towards the goal, and it's picked up by Spredeman.
Using a sort of semi-stick series there, and Not sure why. I'd like to see him just get it on his 5, take his time, and execute his brush.
Spredeman couldn't hold on to it on the 5, turns it over, and Atha takes advantage. It's 2-1.
All true professionals in any sport, all true greats, take a weakness and make it a strength. I would now say that pull side is a strength.
His shot has been a strength so far. Robert Atha has shot the ball very well. That one angled towards the goal by Spredeman. Tony leading 2-1 here in game 4. Robert Atha leading 2-1 in games. Tony takes it across the table, quickly try to go along the outside wall. Tony not happy with his 5-row execution so far. He'd be the first to tell you that. Well, the second, since I just did. Banked off that inside wall, bounces towards the goal and in. It's 2-2.
It's a big goal, that, because Tony doesn't like that. It's taking the wind out of his sails.
2-2 here in the 4th game. Tony using a stop ball passing style here. And you can see that weapon and that shot attempt, so aggressive by Atha, developed so much momentum that it carried back into his own goal after the block.
Yeah, he generates so much pace on the ball that if it doesn't go in, it could literally go anywhere.
Tony Spredeman has survived and actually flourished to some degree in this match without really having a consistent 5-row. Atha able to tie it up at 3 here. Tony Spredeman. Tony a little tentative, but executes a beautiful bounce pass through the lane and a big shot here for Tony, who sets it up in snake shot position. Spredeman walks it around and try to come back near side. Might have been a good situation there for Tony to use a timeout. He chose not to. And a dangerous Robert Atha with possession here, and again aggressive towards the goal, picked up by Tony, who will use the left hand. Angles it, catches it, and now moves into the forward position after faking as if he was going to shoot it with the 5. Tony. Tic-tac, trying to brush it down the middle, and again, not executing. That one back towards the goal. Look out, Rob. Rob has been so aggressive from that 2-row. Truly a great shooting goal.
It's in a moment like this where Rob's now developed a few push shots, a few pull shots from the back. You might see him utilize that outside bank.
Tony has that one knocked down and sent towards the goal by Atha. Spredeman fortunate to get it back. Spredeman can't connect again. The passing has not been consistent for Tony Spredeman from the 2 to the 5 or from the 5 to the 3. Yet he still is tied at 3 here in the 4th game. Snapped off the wall pass there. Atha reacted to block it.
Off wall.
Off wall. Tony looked at the quick pull kick, and now we'll set it up in snake shot position, looking for the lead. Tony walks it all the way out to that far side. Atha, that fast shuffling defense, and Spredeman found the middle of the goal. It's 4-3.
It's amazing how I can call an off wall up here, pre-shot, pre-pass. I can't call it at all when I'm playing him. And even when I do call it playing him, I still can't block it.
4-3 lead for Tony Spredeman. Atha tried to pass it along that wall, comes off the back wall, picked up by Atha. Robert, who has scored at least 5 from his 2-rod during the course of this match, has that one blocked back towards the goal. We're all tied up at 2 games apiece, and we're headed to a 5th and final game. Ben Mason, and who could ask for more?
Well, Jim Stevens, it's going to be a really exciting game here for me, and I think that the momentum is even. It's an odd thing to say when Tony's just won a game, but in Tony's head, he knows he hasn't got to the 5th game by playing his best table football. And Rob knows that Tony had a little bit of luck. So I'd say that momentum is just about even.
All right, let's see what happens. Atha will open things up with a possession on the 5. Can't hold on to it as he tried to go through the lane. Tony able to pick it up. He now goes into the tic-tac. Spredeman smoothly along the outside wall. Will set it up. Look at a strike first here in game number 5. Tony Spredeman. Strokes at home near side. So Spredeman up 1-0. Robert Atha really just needs to continue to do the things he's been doing. He has played a great match so far. But when Tony Spredeman, when he gets in these situations, almost makes the steal there, but it spins back to Atha, who will set it up, looking to tie it up. And he does, executing beautifully to that far corner. It's 1-1.
There's no need to rush at any point in this match for Rob. No need to rush.
Again, the pass along the wall spins away from Spredeman. Tony makes the block. It comes back. Look,
great catch.
Save.
What a catch.
We talk about transition game all the time. You saw it there, but then Tony quickly tried to advance it. It's taken away by Atha, who finds the hole down the middle. It's 2-1.
Look at everything that's happened today, folks, that people have done quickly, or they tried to get a cheap goal or a cheap shot or a cheap pass. It's backfired every time.
That one angled towards the goal, kept out by Atha. Robert leading 2-1 here in the 5th. Atha will set it up in full shot position. Tries to bank it, gets it back, and he'll call a timeout.
There you see the greatest prize Rob has ever won in table football, his lovely girlfriend Ola. Do we make that joke every time?
I think we do.
Yeah.
And that will not be the last time we see Ola this weekend on camera.
All that I make that joke.
Here we go. Putting the ball back into play is Robert Atha. He leads 2-1 here in the 5th game. And stroking it down the middle is Atha. He's up 3-1.
Oh, I'm worried for our cameramen because I think Rob's just tore a hole in the back of the table.
What a brilliant shot there. Spredeman able to pick this one up off the back wall. This is a huge shot in the fortunes of Tony Spredeman. Spredeman walks it, looks for the hole. And finds it again, faking and then going to that far corner. It's 3-2. Huge
It's exciting,
shot
yeah.
by a big-time clutch player. Robert Atha.
Tony's in the top 3 players in the world that you want in that clutch position, isn't he?
Yes, he absolutely is. Or that you want, although he turns it over here. Will it backfire again? Robert Atha tried to go down the middle after a fake. The rebound comes back down the table to him in the goal area, and that's not necessarily a good thing for Tony Spredeman. Robert Atha has been deadly shooting the ball. Bank attempt here, though, blocked back into the goal. It's 3-3.
Tony smiles. He knew nothing about that. It didn't hit the front of his man. I think it hit the side of his man, and this is the way it came back into the goal.
So it seems like Robert Atha has outplayed Tony Spredeman throughout this match. But the fighter that he is, Tony Spredeman, is still alive, tied at 3 here in the 5th game.
I'd say Rob's completely dominated him, to be honest.
Pass by Spredeman. Tony moving into the forward position. And Spredeman now with a chance to move within 1 of victory as he passes it through and sets it up. Tony Spredeman walks it around. Takes his time and tried to come back down the middle, blocked by Atha.
That was for me, that was a great occasion to take in a timeout.
And Spredeman able to take it away here. Tony not electing to use timeouts in this particular match. Or is he? Yes, he is.
Look at Rob's pass there. He's had such success walking on the rocking on the ball, following it around gently and hitting that brush series.
If something's working, stick with it. Robert Atha was up 3-1 moments ago, and Tony Spredeman now with an opportunity to take a 4-3 lead as he puts the ball back into play. Spredeman try to come near side. Atha with a block. Comes back to Tony. Resets. Takes another look. And trying to angle that one, I think, back between the men. Taken away by Atha. Great defensive sequence. And you talked early on about the defense of Robert Atha.
Yeah, he really makes you shoot where he wants you to shoot. It's a very unique talent. Not many people can do that.
A lot of people try, or should try. Atha to the short side, stabs that one on goal. Both of them kept out by Spredeman, who moves back there with the left hand. And this 2 to the 5 has not been a sure thing for Tony, and usually it is. Spredeman taking his time, then brushing it back along that outer wall beautifully. Quick clearing effort by Tony, who now moves into the forward position and goes with the traditional tic-tac smoothly along the outside wall. He can't hold on to it. Robert Atha will move back into the goalie position offensively. Robert Atha with the explosive pull shot, sends that one on goal. Rebound comes back to him. Tony again electing to stay in the forward position defensively. That one angled off the corner. Atha again in possession. Robert fires that one home. And asking if you spun that. Let's see. I think Tony says perhaps you did. And again, no official at this match. They elected not to have one. Asking if he spun that one.
They're asking for a replay.
Well, I think if there's any doubt, they'll probably elect to, I think Rob's going to say that perhaps he did.
No, Rob doesn't think he did, but Tony's adamant.
Well, Rob made the first overture, though, and asked if he did. Let's see. Let's see how they're going to, and these two, of course, are very good friends.
Yeah.
They're going to make a decision that I think they're both going to be comfortable with, whatever that's going to be. And they're going to put it back into play in Atha's goal area. This is the compromise. So technically, it was as if it didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
This is not the decision an official would have made, of course. It would have gone one way or the other. This is the compromise. Atha puts it back into play. We're still at 3-3. Robert comes back with that push shot, stabs it towards the goal. Tony uses the left hand to gather it in on his 2-row. Spredeman again takes his time, crushes it along the outside wall, and knocks it back into his own goal.
Oh, that's a big, big point.
Match point for Robert Atha. Tony Spredeman. Tony back along the outside wall. And of course, this American player, this great player, is a big-time clutch player as well.
Watch for that fake back down the middle. He's been so successful with it.
Tried to go back to that far side. Atha took it away. Bounces back to Tony, who resets. Fakes, and then tried to come near side. Atha with the block, and this time the takeaway. Robert sends it up the table, zigzags towards the goal, where it's retrieved by Spredeman. Tony angles it up the table, then grabs it on his 5. Spredeman along the near wall with a pass. Quick shot attempt taken away by Atha. Robert's defense has really benefited him down the stretch as he has made block after block, with Tony Spredeman having an opportunity to get to that 4th point. And we've got a timeout.
Should Rob score this and win, with his multi-table ability, the way he's playing on his home table, is he tournament favourite?
Yes, he is, in my opinion.
Should Tony win this, is he tournament favourite?
I don't think he'd be as strong as favorite as Robert Atha, the way he's playing. Yet I wouldn't put it past him. But Atha leads 4-3 here in the 5th, then puts it back into play. Slides that one on goal. Spredeman can't keep it out. And there it is. Great performance by Robert Atha as he defeats Tony Spredeman in 5 games to advance to the semifinals. Spredeman will go home in a tie for 5th place. Robert Atha still alive and perhaps the favorite to win the 2013 Men's Singles World Championship, Ben Mason.
Yeah, I think you've got to make Rob favourite now. His multi-table ability and in the way he played his home table then, for me.
So what a performance by your fellow countryman Robert Atha, who played great table soccer throughout. Tony Spredeman fought, but it wasn't enough. The skill of Robert Atha simply was too much in that game, in that match.
I think Rob shot well. Rob did all the right things. Rob took his time on the 5-bar, had a good 5-bar series, took his time on the 3, shot really well. But you've got to say the difference was Rob scored 6, maybe 7 from the back. And that was the difference.
It really was his play at goalie that won him the match, both defensively and offensively with the 5 or 6 that he scored, and the big blocks down the stretch against Tony Spredeman's 3 right. Great match, and we've got more for you
Hopefully,
from the 2013 World Cup and World Championships.
hopefully we'll get Rob Atha in the booth now and have a quick word with him.
Nombre 3-3 dans cette deuxième manche que vous pouvez suivre en direct sur vos écrans également.
I can put him on here if you want to talk to him, or I can talk.